When a lumbar disc herniates, a pressurized gel breaches its outer wall and crushes the adjacent spinal nerve root. This local trauma acts as a catalyst for a gross neuromuscular failure that spreads across the lower back. The first casualty is the multifidus muscle, the deep spinal stabilizer responsible for core control. To protect the injured nerve, the central nervous system rapidly inhibits this muscle, forcing it to switch off. Without regular contraction, the multifidus quickly atrophies. Lean muscle tissue degrades and is replaced by intramuscular fatty deposits. The spine is now robbed of its primary stabilizing anchor. Patients experience chronic radiating pain and weakness that clinicians frequently misdiagnose as nonspecific lower back pain. Intervertebral disc degeneration initiates a systemic trigger, resulting in mechanical destabilization and chronic neuromuscular pain across the entire lumbar region. We often attribute this structural collapse to the friction of aging, but a strictly mechanical view fails to explain the aggressive biological decay. Disc degeneration is an active oligogenic disease driven by the collapse of extracellular matrix homeostasis, a state where the living cells inside the spine stop maintaining their own scaffolding. When this scaffolding fails and necrotic disc tissue is extruded into the spinal canal, the immune system mounts a response. The body attempts to clear the debris. Microscopic macrophages stretch their membranes to physically envelop and consume the necrotic fragments. However, intervertebral discs have an incredibly weak avascular blood supply. The macrophages are starved of the circulatory resources required to process the massive volume of extruded material. Superficial physical therapies cannot speed up this clearance. Interventions must target the cell's internal recycling mechanism, autophagy. Because natural biological clearance is agonizingly slow, achieving true structural regeneration requires active pharmacological manipulation of the disc's intracellular environment. To understand how we can manipulate this environment, we must establish the biological baseline. A healthy intervertebral disc relies on three distinct functional regions: the central nucleus pulposus, the outer annulus fibrosus, and the cartilaginous end plates. The central nucleus pulposus operates as a pressurized hydrogel. It maintains hydrostatic pressure by trapping water within a dense network of proteoglycans and structural collagens. This network relies entirely on extracellular matrix homeostasis. The cells inside the disc continuously synthesize new structural proteins at the exact rate that old proteins degrade. The pathology begins when genetic predispositions and environmental stress tip the biological scales. The environment shifts toward catabolism. Matrix-degrading enzymes, particularly MMPs and ADAMTS, flood the nucleus pulposus. They aggressively cleave the aggrecan and type II collagen molecules holding the disc together. The native cells attempt to repair the damage, but this unchecked enzymatic destruction outpaces their ability to synthesize new structural proteins. IVDD is a destructive metabolic imbalance. The disc actively digests its own support framework from the inside out. As the disc metabolizes its own structure, the local cells face extreme nutritional and mechanical stress. To survive, they rely on a cytoprotective mechanism known as autophagy. Autophagy is a targeted self-digestion process. It begins when the ULK1 protein complex initiates the formation of a crescent-shaped membrane called a phagophore. Next, the VPS34 complex facilitates the lipidation of LC3 proteins. This allows the membrane to close, forming a complete spherical autophagosome around damaged cellular proteins and failing organelles. In the final execution stage, this mature autophagosome fuses with a lysosome. The lysosome's acidic enzymes systematically degrade the targeted molecular waste into reusable raw materials. Inside the nucleus pulposus, this microscopic recycling system is essential. By constantly clearing out senescent organelles and toxic proteins, the cells avoid entering apoptosis, or programmed cell death. Autophagic flux is the cellular fulcrum. When it operates correctly, the disc survives. When it fails, the nucleus pulposus cells die, and the macroscopic structure of the disc collapses. During disc degeneration, this survival mechanism breaks down. Under prolonged pathological stress, the autophagic flux stalls, leaving toxic debris to accumulate inside the cells. The commands controlling this machinery come from non-coding RNAs. Molecules like miRNAs, lnRNAs, and circRNAs act as upstream regulatory switches for the entire autophagic pathway. As the disease progresses, specific suppressive non-coding RNAs are overexpressed. They actively inhibit autophagy by directly targeting and blocking the key initiation proteins. Simultaneously, protective non-coding RNAs attempt to counter this effect. They try to stimulate autophagic flux to clear out oxidative stress, but they are consistently overwhelmed. This genetic dysregulation has severe consequences. Without autophagy to keep the cells alive, unchecked matrix degradation hollows out the core of the disc, leaving it vulnerable to normal physical loading. The failure of the intervertebral disc is an actively commanded cellular shutdown, directed by aberrant RNA signaling. Because we can now map this exact point of failure, we can design precise therapeutic interventions. The clinical strategy is to target autophagy pharmacologically to halt the disease's progression. Activating compounds, such as apigenin or metformin, operate directly at the intracellular level. These compounds artificially trigger autophagic flux by inhibiting the PI3K, AKT, mTOR signaling pathway. By suppressing that pathway, the compounds successfully reboot the stalled machinery. The cells resume clearing out their accumulated necrotic debris. Restoring this internal recycling mechanism produces immediate downstream physiological effects. It halts cell apoptosis, reduces calcification in the cartilaginous end plates, and stabilizes the extracellular matrix. Pharmacological interventions provide a viable, targeted mechanism to chemically reboot the disc's natural survival and waste management systems. The impact of this molecular restoration scales up rapidly. Fixing the internal autophagic flux translates to the macro-level biomechanical structure of the spine. A stabilized extracellular matrix possesses the tensile strength required to handle axial loading. This physical integrity prevents the gross morphological breakdown that leads to herniation. Halting the degradation of the matrix also interrupts the biological alarm bells. The cells stop secreting localized, highly reactive inflammatory cytokines into the surrounding tissue. Localized inflammation is a primary driver of multifidus muscle inhibition. By clearing the inflammatory cytokines that signal this protective shutdown, autophagic restoration removes the chemical block on the spinal nerves, allowing the nervous system to re-engage the deep stabilizers. True, lasting mechanical stability of the spine is biologically impossible without first achieving molecular homeostasis inside the disc. However, targeted molecular repair requires a conducive, low-inflammation systemic environment to be fully effective. This line graph tracks consecutive fasting hours against systemic inflammatory markers, revealing a sharp decline as the fasting window extends. Systematically modulating overall inflammation removes external biochemical stress on the spine, giving pharmacological autophagic therapies the biological bandwidth needed to operate efficiently. Relying solely on mechanical fusions and gross surgical interventions addresses symptoms but ignores the underlying pathology. Treating a metabolic disease with a mechanical brace is an incomplete solution. Spinal therapeutics are transitioning toward molecular regulation and autophagic restoration, treatments that actively engineer cellular resilience rather than just managing structural damage. Resolving chronic back pain relies on managing the spine as a living, dynamic biochemical system.